Hello, dear friends of the wild. Welcome back to TVP Wildlife, where we uncover the hidden stories of nature's most fascinating creatures. I'm your host, and today get ready for a journey unlike any other. Because today, we're stepping into the world of one of humanity's oldest companions, a creature so familiar we sometimes forget how extraordinary it really is. This is the cow, the gentle giant of the grasslands, the origins of a legend before there were farms, before there were villages, before humans even dreamed of taming the land. There were wild beasts that roamed the plains of ancient Earth. Among them was a mighty creature, muscular and proud, known as the oryx, the ancestor of every cow you see today. Imagine it, towering over 2 meters tall, horns sharp as spears, eyes glowing with the fire of survival. These oryx ruled the grasslands of Europe, Asia, and North Africa. They were not the calm, gentle beings we know today. No, they were fierce, wild, and free. Yet, somewhere between 10,000 and 8,000 years ago, in the fertile valleys of the Middle East, humans looked upon these powerful beasts and saw something more than a source of danger. They saw potential. The story of the cow is, in many ways, the story of us. In ancient times, people hunted the oryx for meat and hides. But as humans began to settle, planting crops and building homes, they realized something profound. A living cow was far more valuable than a dead one. A cow could provide milk, warmth, and even help plow the land. Gradually, generation by generation, humans learned to tame the wild beast, and in return, the animal learned to trust. It wasn't easy. Imagine the challenge of calming a creature that could crush you with a single kick. But patience, persistence, and respect built a bond that would change the course of history. Through selective breeding and gentle guidance, the mighty oryx transformed into a more docile, cooperative companion. And so, Bos Taurus, the domestic cow, was born. From the temples of ancient Egypt to the farmlands of India, cows became symbols of life itself. In Egypt, they were connected to the goddess Hathor, a divine mother figure. In India, they became sacred, symbols of abundance, peace, and the rhythm of life. Meanwhile, in Europe, cows became the backbone of agriculture. They pulled plows through heavy soil, hauled wood, and provided nourishment for families across the continent. Without the cow, human civilization would have grown much slower, or perhaps never at all. The partnership between humans and cows was not one of domination, but of cooperation. Humans offered care, shelter, and protection. The cow offered strength, milk, and sustenance. It was an unspoken agreement, one built not on fear, but on mutual need. If you've ever stood near a cow, truly close, you might notice something special in their eyes. There's a calmness there, an ancient wisdom that speaks of patience and peace. Cows are not predators. They live in harmony, always together, always connected. They move slowly, breathe deeply, and live in the moment, a rhythm that seems almost spiritual. Many cultures saw this and were inspired. To some, the cow represents motherhood, nourishing and gentle. To others, she embodies earthly balance, a reminder that power doesn't always roar. Sometimes, it simply grazes quietly in the sun. The domestication of the cow marked a turning point in human evolution. With milk, we gained a new source of nutrition. With their strength, we tilled our first fields. With their calm presence, we learned patience and a new kind of relationship with nature. Over time, the cow traveled with humans to every corner of the globe. From the icy plains of northern Europe to the tropical fields of Africa and Asia, cows adapted and thrived, just like us. Their story is woven into ours. Every drop of milk, every field plowed, every herd grazing in the sunset. They all whisper the same truth. We did not just tame the cow tamed us too. In the golden light of morning, the meadow wakes slowly. A soft chorus of insects hums across the fields, and from a distance comes the low, comforting call of a cow. To most of us, that sound is simple, a moo drifting on the breeze. But to another cow, it's a language rich with meaning, memory, and emotion. Yes, cows have their own way of talking, not in words, but in tones, postures, and subtle gestures. A mother calls softly to her calf, her voice deep and rhythmic, carrying across the pasture. The calf replies with a higher, shorter note, and if you listen carefully, You can almost hear the tenderness between them. It's a lullaby, a promise, I'm here. You're safe. Cows live in tight-knit groups, called herds, and within these herds, every member has a role. There are leaders, followers, and even what farmers call peacekeepers, individuals who calm conflicts when tempers rise. Communication among cows isn't just about sound. It's about body language, the flick of a tail, the angle of the head, the slow, deliberate step toward or away from another. When one cow feels nervous, others notice. When one relaxes to graze, the calm spreads like a wave through the group. And remarkably, studies have shown that cows can recognize over 50 individual faces, both of other cows and of humans. That means they remember who treated them kindly and who didn't. There's an intelligence in that memory. Quiet but undeniable. Every herd tells a story of friendship. Two cows might graze side by side every day, lie down together in the same patch of grass, and even lick each other's faces, not out of instinct alone, but affection. Yes, cows form best friends. Separate them, and their stress levels rise sharply. Their heart rates increase, they pace restlessly, and they call out for one another. Bring them back together, and the calm returns almost instantly. To see this is to realize that cows don't just exist, they feel. They experience comfort, loss, trust, and companionship. Their world, though quiet and simple to us, is full of emotional depth. When we watch a herd grazing, we're not just seeing animals eating grass. We're seeing a living network of relationships, a community that breathes, moves, and cares together. For centuries, people believed cows were simple creatures, driven only by hunger, instinct, and habit. But modern science has peeled back that misconception. Experiments show that cows can solve problems, learn from each other, and even feel pride when they succeed. In one study, cows were taught to press a lever to release food. When they figured it out, their heart rates increased, not from stress, but excitement. Some even jumped or ran in circles, expressing what researchers described as joyful celebration. Imagine that, a cow celebrating a small victory. They also learned to navigate mazes, remember past experiences, and recognize patterns. If a gate opens at the same time every day, a cow will be waiting for it, even if no human appears. They understand rhythm and routine, the subtle logic of daily life. There's no bond more powerful in the cow's world than that between a mother and her calf. From the moment a newborn calf takes its first trembling steps, the mother is there, licking its fur dry, nudging it toward her milk, and staying close for days, sometimes weeks, without leaving its side. A cow can identify her calf by sound alone, even among hundreds. Each call, each moo, carries a unique signature, like a name. And calves, even when grown, often stay near their mothers for life if allowed. When separated too early, cows show signs of distress that mirror grief. They call out for days, refusing food, pacing the edges of fences. There's a sadness in that sound, deep, aching, unmistakably emotional. Some might say that's just instinct, but maybe, just maybe, it's something more, the universal language of love and loss. Cows don't fight for dominance the way predators do. Their society is based on balance, not aggression. When disputes happen, usually over space, food, or a favorite resting spot, they're resolved with quiet signals. A stare, a step forward, or a small nudge. Rarely violence, rarely blood. It's a dance of understanding, refined over thousands of years of living together. The goal is not to win, it's to keep peace, and that's something deeply beautiful. When you watch a herd move together, grazing, walking, resting, it feels almost choreographed. They flow as one body, responding to each other's movements without sound or command. It's as if they share a collective heartbeat. If cows could speak our language, what would they tell us? Perhaps they'd talk about the feel of the wind through tall grass, the warmth of sunlight on their backs, the sweetness of morning dew. Perhaps they'd tell us that peace doesn't need to roar. It can hum quietly in a field, between friends, under a sky wide enough for all. Their intelligence isn't loud. Their emotions aren't dramatic, but they are steady, honest, and profoundly real. To live as a cow is to live in rhythm with the earth, eating, resting, caring, and being cared for. No need for ambition or conquest, just the quiet joy of being alive, surrounded by those you trust. And maybe that's what makes cows so fascinating. They remind us of something we've lost. In their calm gaze and patient nature lies a kind of wisdom we've forgotten. That happiness doesn't always mean progress. And peace doesn't always come from power. In the eyes of a cow, the world is simple, but not empty. It's full of connection, purpose, and gentle meaning. Across the sweep of human history, few creatures have stood beside us so faithfully, so quietly, and for so long as the cow. From the dusty fields of ancient Mesopotamia to the high pastures of the Himalayas, the cow has walked with humanity every step of the way, not just as a source of survival, but as a symbol of life itself. When we built our first villages, cows were there. When we carved the first paths into wilderness, they followed. And as we learned to farm, to trade, to worship, and to dream, cows became part of our story, woven into our daily rhythm like sunlight into the sky. In ancient Egypt, the cow was more than livestock, it was divine. The goddess Hathor, with her cow horns and sun disk, represented love, motherhood, and the joy of creation. To the Egyptians, the cow embodied the nurturing power of the earth itself, a bridge between heaven and home. Across the plains of India, this reverence deepened into something sacred. The cow came to symbolize ahimsa, non-violence, and became a living reminder of gentleness and respect for all life. Even today, millions bow their heads before her image, not out of superstition, but out of gratitude. For the cow gives without taking: milk, labor, warmth, companionship. In Norse mythology, the cow Audhumla was said to have licked the first god, Buri, out of a block of ice, giving birth to creation itself. In this ancient tale, the cow was not just an animal, but the mother of all beginnings. Across continents and centuries, humanity didn't just farm cows. We worshipped them. We built myths and dreams around their gentle gaze. And maybe, deep down, we sensed the truth, that our lives depended on theirs. Before machines, before engines, before iron tools, there were cows. They pulled our plows, turned our mills, carried our goods, and fertilized our fields. In every corner of the world, the rhythm of the cow's hooves set the pace of human progress. In Europe, oxen shaped the medieval landscape, strong, enduring, and tireless. Farmers trusted them more than any tool. A good ox could plow a dozen acres a day, breaking the soil that would feed entire villages. In Asia, water buffaloes, close cousins of the cow, turned flooded fields into seas of green rice. Every grain of rice, every loaf of bread, every field of wheat owes something to these patient workers. Even in the New World, when settlers crossed mountains and rivers, it was cows that carried their wagons, pulled their burdens, and gave milk to hungry children along the way. Behind every empire, every city, every feast, there was always a cow, working quietly in the background, asking for little more than grass and care. Before coins and paper, wealth was measured not in gold, but in cattle. In many African tribes, cows were, and still are, a form of currency. To own a herd was to hold life itself, food, trade, dowry, respect. In some languages, the very word for money once meant cow. A man's worth was counted in how many cows he could feed, not how much he could hoard. And that, perhaps, tells us something profound about ancient wisdom. That value came not from possession, but from coexistence. To give someone a cow was the highest gift. It meant trust, friendship, and alliance. Wars were fought over cattle, and peace was sealed with them. In many ways, cows were the first link between economy and empathy. From cave paintings to sacred hymns, the image of the cow has followed us through every age. In prehistoric art, her shape is carved with reverence, round, full, maternal. On Greek pottery, she appears beside gods and heroes, symbolizing fertility and abundance. In Indian miniature paintings, she glows with divine light, her hide dotted with stars and deities. Even in folk tales, the cow is never the villain. She is the provider, the protector, the calm in a world of storms. In rural Europe, children once whispered bedtime tales of the moon cow who wandered the night sky, her horns cradling the crescent moon. And in Africa, stories told of the sky herd, from which all cows on earth descended, a heavenly gift sent to teach humans gratitude. Every culture, in its own way, looked at the cow and saw more than an animal. They saw a reflection of something deeply human, nurturing, patient, and enduring. There's a strange poetry in our connection. We have lived side by side for millennia, yet we rarely stop to think about what that means. The cow watched us rise from nomads to farmers, from tribes to nations, from firelight to electricity. She stood in our first fields, heard our first songs, and saw the first seeds of civilization sprout. While we hunted, built, and fought, she grazed quietly, grounding us in simplicity. She asked for no glory, no recognition, only a patch of grass and a kind hand. Perhaps that's why we trust her so deeply. The cow never betrayed us. She never turned wild again, never fled our presence. Even when we changed, when cities replaced fields, when machines replaced her strength, she stayed. She followed us into the modern age, still patient, still gentle. The cow is not just part of our history. She is part of our humanity. To this day, festivals around the world honor cows with flowers, music, and prayers. In Nepal, during Gaitir, cows are adorned with garlands and fed the best food, thanked for their gifts. In India, during Pongal, farmers bathe their cows, paint their horns, and celebrate them as family. In Switzerland, when the cows return from summer pastures, villagers welcome them with bells and ribbons, singing songs that echo through the Alps. Each celebration says the same thing in a different tongue. We remember you. Because deep down, even in the hum of modern life, something ancient in us still stirs when we hear the sound of a cowbell in the distance. It reminds us of a time when life was slower, when the measure of wealth was warmth, and when gratitude was as simple as a bowl of milk shared at sunrise. The cow has taught us patience. She's taught us gentleness, endurance, and balance. Watching her, we learn that power doesn't always mean dominance, that strength can live quietly in service, in kindness, in giving. She reminds us that peace is not a weakness, but a choice. Every civilization that flourished understood this truth. That's why the cow's image appears not only in art, but in temples, poetry, and prayer. She was never just a beast of burden. She was a symbol of what humanity could be, generous, steady, and kind. And perhaps that's the greatest lesson she's ever given us. Not how to live off the land, but how to live with it. Morning breaks over a steel horizon. The fields are still there, but the sound of birds has faded beneath the hum of engines. Tractors crawl across vast lands where machines now outnumber men. And in long, echoing barns under fluorescent light, the cow, humanity's oldest friend, stands quietly, a shadow of her wild ancestors. This is the new world, efficient, mechanical, unstoppable. But somewhere in the rhythm of milking machines and conveyor belts, a question lingers. Have we forgotten what the cow once meant to us? Not long ago, a cow's life was bound to the seasons. Spring calves, summer pastures, autumn harvests. The rhythm of her days matched the heartbeat of the earth itself. But as cities grew and demand exploded, that rhythm broke. The cow moved from open meadows into industrial barns, where life became a cycle of production. Milk, meat, leather, each measured in liters, kilos, and dollars. In some places, thousands of cows live side by side in vast enclosures, their days dictated by machines. There's no wind, no sun on their backs, only the constant hum of pipes and the hiss of milking lines. It's not cruelty. Always, often it's necessity, born of a world that demands more than nature can easily give. But somewhere between the numbers, the humanity in our relationship began to blur. The irony is painful. We have mastered efficiency, yet lost intimacy. Technology made it possible to feed billions, milk for children, meat for families, leather for warmth. We owe part of our survival to the precision of modern farming. But progress comes with a price, distance. Once, a farmer knew every cow by name. He could tell their moods by the sound of their footsteps. Now, in industrial farms, cows are identified by numbers, barcodes, and air tags. It's not malice, it's the cost of scale. But the deeper cost is emotional. When we turn living beings into units, we risk forgetting that they once looked at us with trust. The cow never stopped being patient. It's we who became hurried. Humanity now stands at a crossroads, caught between need and conscience. We want comfort, abundance, and convenience, but we also crave kindness, balance, and compassion. The question isn't just how we raise cows, But why? In recent decades, movements have begun to rise. Voices calling for change, for empathy, for sustainable living. Farmers experimenting with free grazing systems, ethical dairy, and plant-based alternatives. People learning that compassion doesn't have to mean sacrifice. Some farms now return cows to open fields, restoring the bond between land, animal, and caretaker. Cows graze freely again, their calves by their sides, their milk shared rather than taken entirely. These are small steps, but they are steps toward remembering. In a quiet valley somewhere in New Zealand, a farmer opens the gate at dawn. His herd moves out slowly, bells clinking in the morning mist. Each cow knows her place, her path, her name. The farmer doesn't shout or push. He simply walks beside them. He talks to them, softly, as his grandfather once did. The cows respond not with words, but with calm. It's a partnership, old, enduring, sacred in its simplicity. Scenes like this remind us that it's possible to blend progress with compassion. Machines can help, but empathy must guide them. A cow treated with respect gives not just milk, she gives trust. And in that trust lies something priceless, a reminder of who we are when we care. Milk, simple, white, familiar, is more than food. It's history in liquid form. It carries the story of evolution, partnership, and nurturing. Every drop of milk is the result of a cow's body adapting over millennia to feed her young, and, through human care, to feed us as well. It's a gift shaped by biology, but also by emotion. Studies have shown that cows produce more milk when they are calm, comfortable, and content. Stress lowers yield. Peace raises it. That simple fact tells a profound truth. Kindness isn't just moral, it's practical. When we treat animals with gentleness, nature responds in kind. The milk is sweeter, the cycle is smoother, the world, somehow, breathes easier. Across the globe, people are beginning to speak on behalf of the voiceless. Activists, scientists, and farmers alike are searching for a way to keep tradition alive while respecting life itself. Some call for plant-based diets. Others seek sustainable ranching. The debate is fierce, but beneath it all lies a shared realization that the bond between human and cow is too ancient, too sacred, to ignore. There are sanctuaries now, places where old or rescued cows live freely, grazing under the open sky. People visit not to take, but to give, to brush their fur, feed them, or simply sit beside them in silence. Many say that looking into a cow's eyes feels like looking into something timeless, a reflection of the earth's patience. Maybe that's what healing looks like. Not a return to the past, but a rediscovery of respect. Imagine a future where technology serves compassion, not the other way around, where farms are green again, fields alive with insects, birds, and herds moving slowly through morning mist, where farmers are not factory operators, but caretakers, proud to know their animals, to love the land they work on, where every glass of milk carries not guilt, but gratitude. That world isn't a fantasy, it's a choice. It begins with awareness, with remembering that the cow is not a product, but a partner. She carried us through centuries. She built our farms, fed our children, and softened our hearts. Now, it's our turn to carry her, to ensure that in the modern world, her life still means something beautiful. In the gentle breath of a cow, there's a kind of wisdom that no machine can replicate. It speaks of patience, peace, and the slow, eternal rhythm of life. Perhaps, if we listen closely enough, we'll remember the lesson she's been teaching us for 10,000 years. That true progress is not measured in speed or scale, but in kindness. The world moves fast now. Cities rise where forests once stood. Highways carve through the earth like veins of steel. Humanity races toward the future, faster, louder, hungrier than ever. And yet, somewhere on the edge of that noise, a soft sound still echoes, the low, peaceful call of a cow in the distance. A reminder that not everything in life needs to move quickly to have meaning. The cow has walked beside us since the dawn of civilization, through wars and peace, through famine and feast. But her greatest gift may not be her milk, her strength, or her hide. It may be the lesson she's been teaching us quietly all along. Watch a cow in the field. She doesn't rush. She grazes slowly, each bite deliberate, each step considered. She doesn't chase the clock or compare her pace to others. In her stillness, there's wisdom. The world tells us to hurry, to produce more, earn more, do more. But the cow reminds us that life doesn't need to be rushed to be full. Growth takes time. Trust takes time. Healing takes time. She shows us that the grass will always grow again, that the sun always rises, that nature never hurries, and yet, everything gets done. Maybe the secret to peace isn't in doing faster, but in simply being. Cows live for community. They rest together, graze together, move together. They share warmth, space, and safety without jealousy or pride. Their lives are woven with connection, a silent understanding that life is easier when shared. When one cow is sick, the others stay close. When danger comes, the herd forms a circle around their calves. In a world where isolation grows with technology, perhaps this is a lesson we've forgotten. The cow teaches us that to belong is to be alive, and that strength is not born from solitude, but from unity. She never stands alone by choice. She reminds us that no creature, human or animal, truly thrives in isolation. The cow is the bridge between wild nature and human civilization. She eats from the earth, gives back to it, and sustains the very soil that feeds us. Her existence is a cycle: grass to milk, milk to nourishment, life to renewal. Nothing wasted, nothing taken more than needed. But humans, in their hunger for progress, broke that balance. We took more, built faster, consumed endlessly. The cow's quiet life stands as a contrast, a mirror showing what we've lost. Balance, she whispers, is not a luxury, it's survival. Without it, even the richest field turns barren. In the animal kingdom, power often roars. The lion, the eagle, the wolf, they hunt, they dominate, they conquer. But the cow, she doesn't roar, she doesn't chase or kill. Her strength is different, quiet, nurturing, enduring. She can pull a plow heavier than her own body, walk miles under the sun, and still offer milk at day's end. She gives without demand. Her power lies not in force, but in generosity. That kind of strength is rare, and it's the kind the world needs most. The cow teaches us that gentleness is not weakness. It's the highest form of power, the ability to be strong without harm, to help without pride, to love without condition. Every civilization that thrived once honored the cow with songs, prayers, and festivals. But modern life, with its screens and machines, has made us forget to give thanks. When we pour milk into our coffee or wear leather shoes, how often do we pause to remember the life behind them? The cow asks for little, only that we remember. Gratitude is her final lesson, to see the sacred in the simple, the extraordinary in the everyday. When we thank the cow, we're really thanking the earth for its patience, for its abundance, for its endless willingness to provide. If you look closely, the story of the cow is the story of ourselves. Once wild, we learned to trust. Once hungry, we learned to share. Once restless, we learned to stay. Through the cow, humanity found the meaning of coexistence, the balance between taking and giving, between work and rest, between power and peace. Every time we look into her calm eyes, we see a reflection of what we could be, creatures capable of harmony. And in her silence, she reminds us of something profound, that true wisdom doesn't need to shout, it only needs to live. The cow's legacy is not written in books or carved in monuments. It lives in every meal, every field, every family that has ever depended on her. It's in the laughter of children chasing calves at sunset. It's in the steady heartbeat of a farm waking at dawn. It's in the gentle weight of gratitude that settles over a village when the harvest is done. Her story is not one of power, but of purpose. She doesn't conquer the world, she sustains it. And when the machines fall silent, when the cities sleep, her low hum will still drift across the land, a lullaby older than language itself. Maybe that's why, after all these centuries, we still love her. Because the cow represents everything we once were, and everything we still hope to be: patient, peaceful, kind. Not driven by greed, but guided by care. Not obsessed with control, but content with harmony. She is, and always will be, the gentle giant of the grasslands, a teacher, a companion, a reminder that even in a changing world, some truths remain eternal. And so, our journey with the cow, this gentle, patient guardian of the grasslands, comes to an end. We've walked beside her through time, from the wild aurochs that thundered across ancient plains, to the calm, wise companions that now graze under golden skies. We've seen her power, her tenderness, her intelligence, and her deep connection with the land and with us. She is more than an animal. She is a symbol of care, of resilience, of harmony between humankind and nature. Every field she walks, she leaves behind a quiet message that life doesn't have to roar to be strong, and kindness doesn't have to shout to be heard. In a world rushing forward, the cow reminds us to pause, to breathe, to remember that the simplest lives often hold the deepest truths. So the next time you see a cow standing quietly in the meadow, take a moment to look into her eyes. Behind that calm gaze lies 10,000 years of shared history, a story of trust, survival, and peace. She doesn't ask for much, just that we remember her, respect her, and learn from her stillness. Because the cow's greatest gift isn't milk or labor or even companionship. It's the lesson of coexistence, a whisper that says, live gently, and the world will be gentle in return. Thank you, dear friends, for joining us on this journey through the heart of nature. If this story touched you, if it reminded you of the quiet beauty in the world, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to TVP Wildlife. Together, we'll keep exploring, learning, and celebrating the wild wonders that make our planet alive. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and keep your heart as gentle as the giants of the grasslands.